Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, how big of a deal is Tom Brady's hand injury? Plus, Cowboys cornerback Orlando Scandrick joins the show to break down the NFC Championship game. And is LeBron James being overly dramatic during Cleveland's latest rough patch? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. We'll start with Tom Brady. Patriots fans held their breath yesterday when news broke that Brady injured his throwing hand in practice. The Boston Herald reports a teammate accidentally ran into Brady and jammed his hand. X-rays were taken and showed no structural damage. ESPN reported that Brady should be okay for Sunday's AFC Championship game against the Jaguars. Shannon, is this a big deal or no big deal?
This is a big fat nothing burger. Oh. With all the dressings and all the sides, Skip Bayless. You know it, too. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Skip Bayless.
Avocado ice cream on the side?
Yeah. A big fat nothing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is. This is another Baker Mayfield situation. You see what they're doing here, Joe?
You just compared Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield?
I said a Baker Mayfield situation. If he loses, he was under the weather all week. You know, it was so tough for him. I didn't know how he was going to be able to come out here and play. And then when he wins, he banged his throwing hand on Wednesday.
Did you hear Baker Mayfield at the Saturday press conference? He couldn't even speak. He was croaking.
Now, this is what I heard. I heard Chris Fowler say that Jalen Hurts actually missed practice time because he was under the weather. We didn't know that until the actual game. We knew about Baker Mayfield's situation leading up to the game.
He missed his media session.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, as I was saying, Joy Taylor, it's not your turn, Skip. I'm not asking you a question.
You need to be correct.
No, I do not.
When it's
your turn, you can correct me. But when I'm speaking correctly. But anyway, you know what I'm starting to see here? Apparently, being 40 years old, playing some of your best football with the possibility of going to your 8th Super Bowl is not a good enough story anymore, Joy. Now we got to add a little. See, Joy, I got you a birthday cake yesterday, but that wasn't good enough. I didn't add enough yeast and flour to it, so now I got to get you a 6th layer. Oh, he banged his hand. It's funny. They asked some of the players that were at practice, the very practice that Tom Brady was at. I didn't notice anything was wrong. Eric Rowe said, look like the same old Tom out there to me.
You really think they're going to divulge what happened inside the ropes at practice?
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly. Thanks for saying that. You actually think they would have divulged if something had happened to Tom Brady? Because normally, Coach Belichick, when a guy has a lower leg injury, they say leg. When they say something upper body. Now we're going to get specifics out of the New England Patriots? A team that the very rule was instituted for because they wasn't telling anybody anything. They weren't listing injuries. Because you remember there was a time that Coach Belichick put everyone on the injury report for about 3 or 4 weeks because he was upset because the NFL had fined him. So that was his way of getting back. I'm going to put everybody on here. Now we want them to believe. A team that doesn't let out anything unless they want you to know. All of a sudden. And not only they said specific. Throwing hand. See what they did, Joy? They could have just said hand. They said throwing hand. Man, they need to stop and you bought it too. Woo, Skip Bayless, you buy anything. Anything they sell anything that they'll sell in Boston.
Whoa. Tell me when you're finished. Tell me when.
Okay. I'm not finished.
No, okay, keep going.
Skip Bayless will buy anything that comes out of that Patriots organization. But I see what they're doing here. It's not good enough story that Tom is 40, playing the best football, probably going to be the MVP. We got to add a little bit more yeast. This thing got to grow. We need this narrative to get bigger than what it is right now because it's not good enough. I don't believe it. Tom Brady will be out there, and guess what? You know what, Joy? I'm expecting here, it's what time is it? About 9:30, so I'm expecting about 11:45. Tom Brady going to do his press conference with a big old cast on his arm, with his propped up like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go, guys. We'll give it a go on Friday and see how it is. Just some bull jive, and you know it.
I don't know it, but this I do know. I want to get this clear because we got it on tape. I want to reemphasize that the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe just accused the New England Patriots of fabricating an injury just before the AFC Championship game. Not embellished, you fabricate. You said fabricate.
Okay,
fabricate. You said they made it up completely.
I don't believe nothing
just
wrong
to
with Tom
create a new storyline, a better storyline, and potentially, I guess you're saying, an excuse in case they happen to lose the AFC Championship
and then if they win, they're going to say, oh, my God, do you see Tom Brady? Now, he banged his throwing hand on Wednesday, Joe.
So
they thought he wasn't going to be able to play.
Tom Brady is now 40 years of age.
Yes.
So he's played, what is he in, his 18th season?
Yeah.
Okay, so once in his whole lifetime in the National Football League, has he ever created an excuse before a game that you can remember? Because I don't know one. If you can remember one, you're ahead of me.
Why not?
Because he got hurt. Because it was an accident. And now we have two reports from both the Boston Globe and the Boston Herald. Boston Herald said he turned a handoff and or his back ran into him. So now I got to blame either Deion Lewis or maybe Rex Burkhead if he's healthy enough to go.
Gillisley,
or maybe
Lewis,
maybe
or
Brandon Bolden, who had a big finish that game. I think he might be the closer in this game. So maybe somebody just ran headlong into Tom Brady. His hand got caught. And the Boston Globe reported the hand was cut. Did it need stitches? It did need an x-ray, and Tom Brady missed a scheduled media session yesterday that was scheduled to be televised live on the NFL's own network. The NFL network was poised to go live with Tom Brady, and he missed it. Is that his MO? Is that his track record? Does he miss press sessions because he got hurt to create injuries?
More study time. He is getting more study time.
Yep. You know what? You are so out of bounds with this. You're accusing the greatest quarterback ever of needing an excuse for a game? Really?
I'm not accusing him. He didn't say anything.
God. So let's get this straight. This is a quarterback who is obviously the greatest ever, who relies foremost on his accuracy. He's got a strong arm, but not a cannon. So accuracy is number one. So we have an injury to the throwing hand, according to the Patriots, and according to the Globe, according to the Boston Herald, to the throwing hand of one of the most accurate passers ever, and certainly the most accurate under pressure, such as AFC Championship game or Super Bowl pressure. And all of a sudden, what day are we up to? Thursday. So on Wednesday before that game on Sunday, and it is the earlier game on Sunday, he injured his throwing hand in an accident at practice. And you're saying it's no big, you're not even saying it's no big deal. You're saying it's no deal at all, right?
Nothing.
How could you say that?
Because I'm trying to figure out how does he injure his throwing hand on a handoff. Now,
because he got run into.
Whoa, Skip,
Maybe Brandon Bolden, who hadn't played all year, is going to be a big factor in this game. Brandon Bolden goes 220 pounds. Maybe he just ran right into Tom Brady and hurt his hand.
Oh, okay.
It happens.
Okay.
What happened to Deshaun Watson? He's just running in practice, and he blows out his ACL.
Calm down.
Well, seriously. This is so out of bounds. It's so it's so beneath a Hall of Famer and Shannon Sharpe to accuse Tom Brady.
All I'm saying is normally when the guy is going to the left, the quarterback has the ball in his right hand, he hands the ball off like this. So I'm trying to figure out how he got cut. Now, if he's going to the right, he hands the ball off like this. So maybe, I mean, maybe, he had
Sure, he could get run into, or maybe the back went the wrong way and just ran right smack into him. I see it happen once on NFL Sunday. A back runs right into the quarterback.
So let me get this right. The reason why a lot of players says I don't want to be on the injury report is because I don't want a team to know what specifically injured on me. So now we want the New England Patriots, the most secretive organization in the history of NFL football. They're divulging information on their quarterback. So now teams can go target said hand. That's what you want me to believe.
He missed his media session. You've got to justify it. And by the way, they can get fined up to draft picks if you hide an injury of this magnitude to your quarterback's throwing hand just ahead of the AFC Championship game. What is the method to the madness of divulging? It's to keep gamblers from buying inside information from inside that locker room. So as secretive as they are, you can't help but divulge this because I'm pretty sure this happened.
Skip, if you don't think teams have lied to say, well, he had this injury, he's getting extra treatment. They can get guys out of media sessions. Skip, I played 14 years. I know all the secrets, but that's not for me to tell up here. But I know.
But you weren't the franchise quarterback.
I know who was.
So?
And I know what happened.
What happened?
And nothing. I'm just saying, Joy Taylor, you can't fool me.
Yeah.
It's a big old nothing, Skip.
Okay, so are you saying they fabricated it completely?
I'm saying
his hand is not cut and he did not need an x-ray.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
All
it's nothing. You play it up. You make him Hercules. You make him more than what he is. It's not good enough that he's won 5 Super Bowls. He's been to 7. It's not good enough he's 40. It's not good enough he's playing some of his best football, and he's probably going to win the MVP. Now we got to add something extra to the mix. On Wednesday before the AFC Championship game, Tom Brady injures his hand. Man, stop it. Stop it.
The Brady hate coming from across the table is so strong I can smell it. It's like I got to lean back from it, right?
No.
The resentment, the jealousy. What is it? Why
I
can't
just
you?
want you to tell me. Okay, explain to me. Tell me why I would be jealous of Tom Brady.
Well, you tell me. I don't know because I don't see any reason.
I got 3 Super Bowl wins. I'm in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
I got 12 straight playoff victories. When I walked away from the game, I had every record that the tight end could hold for an NFL tight end. So I'm trying to explain to me, if I wanted to be married, I could have been married.
Thank you for opening that door.
I'm trying to figure out what would I be jealous of Tom Brady about.
So I was skimming through Mike Freeman's 10-point stance on the Bleacher Report that came out early this morning, and he starts off point number 1 with, "You're tired of the Patriots, so damn tired of them. You are tired of Tom Brady." So let's look at what Tom Brady has. He has 10 postseason games with at least 3 touchdown passes. Joe Montana's next with 9. He has 21 multi-touchdown playoff games. Favre's next at 15. This is his 12th conference championship game, most ever by 2 games over any other player in history, in NFL history. And then just a few other little caveat stats. In most postseason passing yards, Brady is 2,100 yards ahead of second place Peyton Manning. Most postseason playoff wins by a quarterback. Tom Brady has 26. Joe Montana has 16, and he's second on the list. And finally, most postseason 300-yard passing games. Tom Brady has 13. Next on the list is Peyton Manning with 9. That's why you're jealous of him, because this is untouchable, and he's about to do it again. He's at least favored to do it again.
Hey, guess what, Skip? When he goes in the Hall of Fame, he'll be in the same building that I'm in. He will not have a room all into himself.
You know what?
So all that is great.
I think he's going to get his own wing.
I bet he doesn't.
Yeah.
I
Well,
bet
he
he
deserves
doesn't.
his own wing.
It doesn't matter what he deserves, Skip. That's you. See, the fans might be tired of Tom Brady and the Patriots winning, but when you play the game, when you put into it, you don't care what they get tired of because you know what it took to get to that point. I'm never going to be jealous of another guy because I knew what it took for him to get there. So you might try to convince them that I'm jealous of Tom Brady, but I can assure you.
They're already convinced.
Shannon Sharpe can stand alone. He doesn't need Tom Brady to prop him up.
All right. So who has been the only nemesis in Tom Brady's career? There's one. There's just one. One kryptonite. It's embodied in an older gentleman now. I guess he's in his 70s. Who is that?
I don't know.
Tom Coughlin. Has he not been kryptonite for Tom Brady? He coached the 2 teams that beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, right? Yeah. Tom Coughlin is now the vice president in charge of player personnel for the
Jacksonville
Jaguars. So he is running the show in Jacksonville. And once again, he's turning into the Tom Brady hex. That's how I see this because, remember, we'll think about this. When Tom Coughlin, the 2 Toms, Tom versus Tom, when Tom Coughlin coached the New York Football Giants, they played 5 times, including the 2 Super Bowls. Every game went right to the wire, and Tom Brady is 2-3 against Tom Coughlin.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, in practice on a Wednesday ahead of the AFC Championship game against Tom Coughlin's Jacksonville Jaguars, the up-and-coming, on the verge, about to break out Jacksonville Jaguars, Tom Brady has an accident in practice and hurts his hand. Well, Tom Brady's a student of history. You don't think he went home last night and said, "Man, that Coughlin, he's doing it to me again"?
My point is, even if I were to believe that Tom Brady injured his hand, why would the Patriots be so specific when they can target said injury?
So specific?
Yeah. Why did they
You have to divulge. It's the AFC Championship game. This is it.
You could say Tom Brady injured his arm.
So you're saying they made it up. I just want it on record. You're saying they made it up that he has an injury.
I've already spoken.
That's
so they can.
outrageous.
I started the argument. So I'm already on record.
Yep. I will bet you 100,000 cases of Diet Mountain Dew that Tom Brady hurt his hand in practice yesterday, and it was his throwing hand. And I believe it's cut. I don't know if it needed stitches, but it definitely needed an X-ray. And I don't think they fabricated 1 ounce of that story, whether you like it or not. And
it doesn't matter whether I like it or not, Skip. You believe everything that Tom Brady says. You believe everything that comes out of the Patriots. I don't.
I don't believe everything that comes out of the Patriots, but when he gets hurt, he gets hurt. And if he had a long history like that guy up in Cleveland, that guy born on December 31st, well, you know, the guy born in the manger,
December 30th.
you know, December 30th, whatever it is, that guy has a long history of making excuses. He just made another one yesterday that we're going to talk about in our next topic.
When was the time he made an excuse about an injury?
Well,
you said he was overreacting when you talked about he had an ankle.
It's always something. It's always something with LeBron.
Oh,
it's something he doesn't have enough help. So, but has Tom Brady ever said one word about I don't have enough help when he's the one who deserves to say again and again, year after year, I don't have enough help?
I didn't hear Tom Brady said anything.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't believe Tom Brady is injured, especially as much as they're making it out to bleed. Now, when he comes out there and he shows me a gash where he got 14 stitches, I'll sit right here and apologize. Oh, yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, all I know is that most people are reporting that it looks like it's going to be okay. But if you say that it didn't happen, you're just flat out wrong.
Hey.
And I'm accusing you of fabricating the fabrication. That's what I'm saying.
All I'm saying is that they're trying to add to the story because I guess him being who he is and doing what he's doing.
He doesn't need to add anything to the story. He's beyond storylines. He doesn't need a storyline. He's Tom freaking Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to add to the narrative of, oh, the Patriots are making this up, which you just added to. So if you want to hate him, it's fine. Go ahead and hate him.
But Skip, see, the difference is what I'm starting to see in like 2017, 2018, Joey, people expect, you know, they correlate truth with hate. I tell the truth about something, you hating. No,
so wait, you just told the truth that they fabricated?
I said
That's the biggest lie about the truth that I've ever heard. They did not fabricate this.
You believe it.
I
don't believe it.
I just know it.
How you just know it? You sit here with me in L.A.
The Boston Globe and the Boston Herald are really good newspapers, and there's no way they would report this. They would just report that they exaggerated it. They're saying
they didn't report they exaggerated it.
Cut and needed an X-ray, and I'll bet today they're going to MRI it. I will bet you. And we'll see what happens.
They're not giving no MRI.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
So they're going to give, hold on. They had him yesterday, but they're going to wait till the day after? Tom Brady is as injured as you say he is?
Then you don't know much about MRIs. It takes at least a day for the bone structure to clarify. Does he have a hairline fracture? I don't know. He might.
When the X-ray reveal that?
Nope. Nope. It's not. You got to get 3D, and that's what the MRI is. I don't know if you ever had an MRI. I've had a whole bunch of them.
I have a whole bunch of them, too.
Okay? So then you should know it's 3D.
I don't need 3D glasses to see bull. I know what bull jive is, Joey. That's not what it is. I'm talking about the bull bleep.
I'm hoping this gets back to Tom Brady.
I don't care.
Shannon Sharpe says you made it up. You fabricated an injury just so you could create new sympathy, as if you need sympathy? What? I don't get it. You know what? If LeBron James were doing what Tom Brady has done, if LeBron were later in his career and he had won 5 championships and lost 2 finals and was still approaching that ghost territory, that MJ territory, the world would be just at his feet.
The hate for LeBron. The hate for LeBron.
There's no hate for LeBron. No hate. He only gets pass after pass after pass, and no matter what Brady does, I read you these stats, it just doesn't matter. Everybody wants to look and see ghosts about Tom Brady.
I know
but
stats.
He cheats. But
I didn't say nothing about that. I know all that stats. I know all of this stuff, all of his accomplishments.
I've never seen anything like this
He's well
before.
accomplished. That's not in question. Nobody's trying to question what Tom Brady has accomplished.
But now you've questioned his character. That's what you just questioned. He made it up.
I question the validity of the injury. I'm not questioning Tom Brady. I question the validity of his injury.
Validity of his
Yes.
Well, then you're questioning Tom Brady. How are you not questioning Brady?
Tom Brady didn't say nothing.
Do you think Bill Belichick made it up on Tom Brady's behalf? That's absurd.
Lord forbid, Bill Belichick.
Trust me, Bill Belichick does not love Tom Brady. He doesn't love him. In fact, if you want resentment, there's resentment that goes both ways that way.
Skip, what is that?
I'm just telling you.
Okay, Skip, I don't want to eat that. I don't want to eat that bull jive that they're peddling up there, okay? You have it. Go ahead. You have an extra helping of it. Yes. Bull jive.
We could have a Brian Hoyer, Blake Bortles AFC Championship game.
We could have that. Just like we're having a Nick Foles, Case Keenum NFC
championship game.
Yep.
No mercy.
In the AFC Championship game, the Patriots are an 8.5-point favorite against the Jags. Earlier this week, Tom Brady said Jacksonville would be, quote, the biggest challenge we've faced all year. Yesterday, Bill Belichick echoed his quarterback. Let's take a listen.
I'm watching the Jaguars here over the last 2.5 days intensively. They're really good at everything. Offensively, they're at the top of the league in a lot of categories: points, yards rushing, points after turnovers, yards per completion. All these guys got a big completion average. Defensively is, again, top of the league of it and everything. Starting with turnovers, sacks, negative plays. There's going to be a problem. They said the offense is a problem, defense is a problem, special teams is a problem. I mean, that's why they're playing. They're good at everything. Good players, good coaches, and strong football team.
You just acknowledge that they're good at everything that they do. Is there anything that they don't do well that you think you can capitalize on?
I think we're going to have to play our best game of the year.
Shannon, why is he saying this about the Jags?
Because this is why they win. If I were to tell you the Jags have the #1 rushing attack, you says, okay, yeah, they got Leonard Fournette. They run the football all the time. They should lead the league in rushing. But what if I told you they're 5th in scoring? They're 6th in total offense. Because, see, the perception is that their offense isn't very good because everybody and their mom has told you that Blake Bortles is trash. But this is why they don't have hiccups. Because they don't look at the package that what we see on TV. You got to dive deeper in. And what Coach Belichick is able to do, he's able to convince his team that this team is capable of beating you. Not just the Jags, any team. And if you notice, the Patriots never have the letdowns that you see other teams have. When they get beat, a team beat them because they played better than they did that day. Mm-hmm. You don't see the Patriots have an off game. They get beat by 25. They get beat by 30 points. Like, well, what happened? Because of this. Because Coach Belichick takes you inside. He goes behind the curtain. He goes in through the trap door, and he says, okay, look at this. Points after turnover, they're great. Mm-hmm. They get big completion. They get big plays because they can run the ball. Now they play action you. They get huge chunk plays down the field. Mm-hmm. So that's why Blake Bortles only had 14 completions, but he was 250-plus yards. That's why. And so Coach Belichick understands that. He understands that. He makes his team approach it like, they can beat you guys. Mm-hmm. I know what people are saying. I know they're not high-flying like the Rams or the Eagles. They don't put up points like, they don't do it conventionally because the Patriots go bam, 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 and next thing you know, you look at it like, how did they get 30? Mm-hmm. But they just hung 45 on the Steelers.
They did.
In their building. Mm-hmm. Remember, Skip, they went to London and hung 44 on the Ravens.
They did.
Ravens led the league in takeaways. Mm-hmm. We know what they can do. They can get to your quarterback. So this is why the Patriots enjoy the level of success that they've enjoyed, because their head guy leaves no stone unturned, and he takes you into the room that very few coaches want to go in. And they, a lot of times, and players will buy in to what they see on television and what they've heard someone say. Everybody says Blake Bortles is trash. They're number 5 in scoring offense, 6th in total offense. No one would have believed that about the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Nope.
But that's who they are.
That's who they are. And this is not who Bill Belichick usually is. I have never, in all my years of studying Bill Belichick, heard him heap this much praise on an opponent. And I don't believe he was just laying it on thick.
No.
I don't think he was trying to create overconfidence in the incoming opponent. I think he was just being cold-blooded, lay it on the table, honest. And I think he was speaking more to his team than to the other team. I think he wanted his team to watch him via whatever highlight show, tell the media, this is what we're up against, because this is serious stuff. And remember, according to reports, he highly recommended Doug Marrone for this job. He has nothing but respect for the new overseer of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Tom Coughlin, who has been his nemesis in the postseason.
He was also on that giant staff, Skip.
He was?
When he was Tom Coughlin was a receiver coach.
Good point. Yep.
In the 90s.
So he has nothing but respect for the new sort of GM or the director of player personnel and the new head coach and for what they have put together, because they're smart and they're doing it the right way.
Right.
So not one point that he made did I say, oh, come on, Bill. I kept trying to, oh, come on, Bill. But he even went all the way to, well, wait a second. Fournette obviously had a great year, but he's saying, did you watch T.J. Yeldon when he came in? Because did you?
Yep.
Changed the game. It's a whole new dimension. He can run, man.
Yep.
And he can catch.
Yep.
Okay, so he's saying, oh, so we got the two-headed monster. And by the way, they led the NFL in rushing. And by the way, just for the record, even though they came in points allowed all the way up to 5th in the league, the Patriot defense, they were also 20th ranked against the run. You don't think they're going to have to buckle chin straps against the run against Fournette and T.J. Yeldon?
Yep.
And Blake Bortles, trash. He basically threw out the trash up in Pittsburgh, and the trash was Pittsburgh's defense,
Correct.
right? He threw it out because he had a QBR on Sunday of 90, a scale of 0 to 100.
That was the highest of the weekend, wasn't
By
it?
far the highest of the 8 quarterbacks, including Tom Brady, who played last weekend. Well, that was pretty great.
Yeah.
And during the year, trash. Blake Bortles had 21 touchdowns to only 13 interceptions. That's not trash.
Right.
I don't know where that all. He became a punchline last week.
Skip,
I don't know.
I think the thing is, if he had said this about their defense, which he did, we can see that. We see the talent that they have on that side of the football. They got 4 Pro Bowlers. They got the 2 big D tackles. They got the edge guys at the corner in Ramsey and Boye. We see them get to the quarterback. So that's what we can see. But what we see with Blake Bortles, we see him 100 yards here, 90 yards there, 80 yards there. So it doesn't like.
I got it.
How? But Coach Belichick, what he does is that he might watch TV copy trying to see if he can pick up any sounds or something like
Maybe.
that. But when you watch the tape and you hit that clicker, you don't hear what they say, and you just looking. Like, wow, okay, now I can see. They run the football, and then they play action you off of that. The linebackers, Pittsburgh? They run the little play. They run the F2 split, and the fullback's wide open in the end zone. Why? Because Leonard Fournette is killing them running the football. T.J. Yeldon is running the ball down their throat. So now the linebackers have to honor. Okay, we slipped the fullback right out. Play pass, or Cole down the field for 45 yards. Coach Belichick has done a great job of convincing his team. And that's not always easy, Skip, because guys look at and they hear what everybody's saying, he's trash, and they watch the highlight shows of Blake Bortles turning the ball over, or they see his stats at the end. Dude only threw for 80 yards and they won a game, and they buy into that. Coach Belichick has done an excellent job of convincing his team that on any given Sunday,
hope he has.
if we don't play our best football.
This will not be easy. And am I saying Blake Bortles is Ben Roethlisberger? No, he's not. But he's not trash.
No.
And he won't play trash. As long as he doesn't throw it to the other team.
Correct.
They got a shot, man.
He doesn't need to, and for what this team needs, he doesn't need to be Ben Roethlisberger.
No.
Well, we know Bill Belichick is a shrewd operator. He's not going to give away anything like that. Any bulletin board material is not coming from him. But you don't luck your way into an AFC championship game. So even though Bortles gets no respect, you're going to have to earn it this weekend. No mercy. Our next guest just finished his 9th season with the Cowboys, Orlando Scandrick. Welcome back to 10th season. Welcome back to Undisputed. Good to have you.
Wait,
Thanks for
I
having
thought
me.
you'd only played 9 seasons.
I got hurt one.
Oh, so we're going to count that for 10. Okay. All right.
It's on
I'll
the
take
resume
that.
as 10.
On the benefits.
So, as a former 5th-round draft pick, you have played 10 seasons. That's pretty great.
Yeah, not too bad.
No, and even though the last couple of 3 have been, can we say, injury-plagued, you've had your share, more than your share. And it did hurt the Dallas Cowboy defense this year when you broke your hand and then you suffered a back injury at the end of the year that ended your year. Right?
I did. Yeah, it's been tough.
It's been tough.
From, I think it was 2014 to tearing my ACL, then coming back, and then having such high hopes, and then hurting my hamstring, and then coming into this year, having a great offseason, and then breaking my hand, missing a game, and then I think, what was it? I want to say it was Thanksgiving, hurting my back.
Yep. So that definitely hurt this defense. But step back for a second and give us the biggest reason your football team was a disappointment going 9-7 and missing the playoffs.
I think we just had a bad stretch. You know, we played some bad football against some very good teams, and then we lost one of our best players, in the middle of the season for 6 games.
You did. And you're talking about those 3 games in a row at Atlanta. Are you starting there?
No,
Philly,
I'm actually starting
Chargers?
with the 18-point lead I think we had against the
going
Rams.
back there. Okay.
Then we lost the lead against Green Bay. Then we kind of put ourselves in a position where we had a small margin, and then we lose Zeke for 6 games, and then it just was kind of all downhill from there.
So, since you do play on the defensive side, my partner across the table and I constantly bicker about the value of one Sean Lee. How do you view the value of a guy that you lost on defense and collapsed without on defense?
It collapsed.
Yeah.
I think it's just not losing Sean. When we lost Sean, we had to move Hitchens to a different position, and I mean, it just was kind of like we lost a lot of experience, and it was a number of reasons why we didn't perform. And I mean, Sean was definitely, a big reason. We took a big hit with him, but I mean, I think in the NFL, when you lose people, everyone has to step up. And I don't think I did my part as far as stepping up. I think there's other people that feel like they didn't do their part. But I can't blame it all on Sean. I mean, Sean wants to be out there for 16 weeks. Things happen.
Yep. But those second halves at Atlanta and then against Philly and then against the Chargers on Thanksgiving were all-time disasters and embarrassments. Am I right?
You're right. You're correct.
Yeah. And why did those happen?
I just think that we weren't playing good football at the time. And when you go through a stretch and you play bad football, that's what happens. And unlike any other sport, basketball, baseball, hockey, I mean, they have so many games. You can go through a stretch where you can lose 3 games in a row and you can still recover. When you're playing a 16-game season, I don't think that's possible.
Offensively, my partner and I also debate about this. He thinks that Dak was most responsible for the offensive collapse, even though the loss of the running back was key to the 6-game loss, obviously. But he gave Dak an F for his performance this year. Would you go that far?
Never. I got too much respect for him. I think that he was forced a little bit more on his plate than he expected. It's just people forget that it was his second year. And once again, we lost one of our best players. And we played a lot of those games, like you said, in the second half where we were down and we're forced to throw the football every time. And that's just not the kind of football team we are.
Oh. That's not the kind of football team. Who said that, Joe? I could have sworn. Raise your hand if you said that they're not a throwing football team, that they need that 2-1, the guy that just be eating and get up and do this right here. Who said? I could swear that was me. But if he's that guy that you said he was, Skip, he has to deliver the Cowboys from evil.
I think just give him some time. Give him some time to grow. I mean, I think he did some great things. And I think, once again, it's a team effort. And if we're not holding our weight on defense and we're not getting stops and we're putting them in holes where we're down by 2 and 3 scores, I mean, we don't have a choice but to throw every time.
But when he was forced to throw every time, could we please give him one receiver who can actually separate and get open? And I'll be the first to admit, I've said it many times, I'm not only down on Dez Bryant, I'm out on Dez Bryant. Do you want to try to defend Dez Bryant? Because I don't think you can.
I wouldn't jump off the ship just right away. I've been with Dez his whole career, and almost my whole career, and I got so much respect for him. And he's an immaculate talent, and I mean, he still got it. I think, this season didn't go the way he wanted it personally, but
The past 3 haven't, Orlando. The past 3.
That
We're
is
not
a
talking
fact.
about last season. Go back the past 3 seasons. Since he got the contract, look at his numbers since he's gotten the contract, and you tell me there was a serious discussion that was being had around tables like this. Who would you rather have, Dez Bryant or Julio Jones? Now, that's not even a thought.
That is a fact.
I totally understand that, but let's just talk about the contract 1 second. Only thing Dez did with the contract was sign it. He didn't give it to himself, so
He earned it.
I'm never going to be mad at a man for what he makes.
No, we're not.
We're not mad at
And
him.
I'm never going to let the amount of money that someone makes define them as a player. And I think Dez is, he's a great player. And
What about the production? Will you let that define a player? Is he producing as a number 1? Take money aside. Dez Bryant is the Cowboys' number 1 receiver. Is he producing like the Antonio Browns, the Julio Jones, all the Thielens, the Diggs, the Michael Thomases, the Mike Evans?
You
is
don't
he
have enough
producing
time
like
to go
that?
down the list. Yeah.
I wouldn't say he doesn't have those numbers, but our offense has changed since Dez had 1,400 yards. Like we're a totally different offense since he's had those
How?
numbers. I mean, I think we're more run-driven.
Dolo, DeMarco Murray rushed for 1,848 yards.
the league.
He was Offensive Player of the Year. He had more carries in one season than Zeke has ever had.
But I believe when he had the 1,400 yards, DeMarco Murray didn't have 1,800 yards.
Yes,
that
he
year.
did.
I don't even think we made the playoffs.
Yeah, you did. That was 2014. Dez was an All-Pro, had 16 receiving touchdowns. That's when we was having that conversation. That's how he got the $45 million guarantee. That's how he got the $70 million in total contract.
I'm never gonna turn my back, man. That's my guy.
Now stay with him.
Okay. How often in practice do you take him?
A lot. I mean, he makes plays. I mean, I watch him make plays.
But don't you see that his body has betrayed him, broken down with any number of injuries, and he's lost a little quickness and a little speed and some confidence?
I think it all can be fixed. I don't think he's lost any confidence. He's one of the most confident players I've ever been around. I think it can all be fixed. I think he just needs to go back to work and just get back to the basics, and I think we can all get better as players, as athletes.
Do you see there's no real rapport, wavelength connection between Dak and Dez?
I think it's going to take time. I mean, I think, going into last year, no one was even expecting Dak to be our quarterback. Then he becomes our quarterback. We become a run and play action team. Dez numbers dip. I think this year, we're coming in thinking that we're going to be able to repeat 13-3 and, possibly go further. And I think Zeke gets suspended. Tyron gets hurt. We're forced to throw every time. I think that's just not our offense. I mean, give it one more year and see where it goes.
You've always been a run play action. That's why they went and got those 3 offensive linemen. That's why they signed Zeke.
That's what we want it to be. But when we had Tony, Tony was running the show. Tony was able to call the plays and get us into plays that he wanted to and get us into situations that he wanted to. And I'm not making excuses, but I'm just not ready to jump off the ship with Dez yet.
So you want another year. So you want another year just like the past 3 years.
I think he deserves it.
Okay, Cole Beasley led your team in receiving a year ago, and his production dropped more than half, which is just stunning. And he's getting a little bit of a pass here. What did you see happen to Cole?
All he can do is catch it. He can't throw it to himself.
Oh, so he just didn't get enough?
All he can do is catch it.
Did you see bracket double coverage on him more than usual?
I don't know, man. I don't watch the other team defense.
Yeah?
Not at all.
So, are you more hopeful than you were a year ago about your team's chances going into next year?
Honestly, man, at this point, I'm just kind of worried about, what I can do that's best for myself. I love those guys. I love that locker room. I got a lot of friends on that locker room, but it's just like I'm trying to figure out at the point in my career what I can do to become more productive and become a productive player again myself.
Are you saying between the lines you're fearful you won't be on this team next year?
I ain't fearful. That don't scare me.
Well, is that a possibility?
I know I'm going to play somewhere.
Yeah?
It's always a possibility.
Well, did you feel like you were being replaced at the end of the year by the kids?
I wasn't healthy. So, I'd rather kind of let them do their thing than not play healthy.
That's how you should be. Because when you're out there, they don't know, well, man, dude's back's been nicked. He's playing with, his hamstring's a little tight. All they see is 32 and Scandrick on the back.
Absolutely.
So when they see that, cut that tape on, they need to know why you're not driving out of that route.
Absolutely.
So you've been in the league team. He knows how it works.
So would you say you're still better than the young corners that they drafted last year?
I mean, like I said, I got too much respect for those guys. I'm not going to compare myself to them because my biggest competition is in the mirror. And I'm going to say wherever I play, I'm going to be productive.
He said wherever he plays.
I heard that.
What's going on, Scan? Go ahead and put it out there. What you trying to say?
I don't think that. I just think that, in the direction that we're going, we've drafted like 5 corners in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I still started 10 games. So,
did?
I'm saying that speaks for itself.
So now, back-to-back this week, we've had in Bryce Butler, who's saying he's going elsewhere because you have to follow the money, and Dez.
I don't need money.
Well,
I
okay.
ain't following money.
Yeah.
Everybody need money.
Yeah.
I don't need money. I want money.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting. So if you're not on the Dallas Cowboys, how do you think they'll do next year?
I think they got a great talented team. I'm sure if they stay healthy and, they play like they're capable, they'll be fine.
You ain't gonna pretty soon. You ain't gonna have nobody be able to come on. Bryce Butler gonna be gone. Scant gonna be gone.
Yep.
Then who you gonna get to come on?
Dez.
I would welcome
Dez don't want to sit in that seat.
No mercy. The Eagles are a home underdog against the Vikings on Sunday. We're joined once again by Orlando Scandrick. Orlando, you know this Eagles team very well.
Yeah, that's a good football team.
Do you think that they're being underrated right now?
I don't know about underrated. That's a good football team, though.
Well, they're a home underdog.
That's a good defense.
Minnesota. Yeah.
But on the other side, that team that wears purple, that's a different type of beast.
How?
Xavier Rhodes he exceptional. I didn't even see that coming. I can't even lie.
Is he better than Jalen Ramsey?
They're different. I mean, I think Ramsey is just, he ain't as physical as Xavier Rhodes, and I think they play a different style of defense. I mean, they both got excellent fronts, but I think that Minnesota team and Mike Zimmer, he's a great coordinator.
You know him, right?
I don't, but
you didn't cross his path.
I'm really, really close with Terrence Newman, and I heard nothing but great things about Mike Zimmer.
Well, he came from coaching DBs.
Mm-hmm. Deion swears by him. Time believes in Mike Zimmer. He's a Mike Zimmer disciple. He believes in him.
Yeah, I crossed his path early when he was in the championship game and then won the Super Bowl with the Cowboys 94-95. That's the last time he's been around a Super Bowl. So, on Sunday night, November 19th at Jerry World, you saw these Eagles up close and personal, and you hung with them for a half, and then they laid it on you pretty good in the second half. So, what makes them what they are? Obviously, they have the backup quarterback now.
I mean, they're committed to what they do. They're going to play very, very good defense, and they're going to run the football. And they're going to do that until you break.
How was their offensive line that night?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, they like I said, they're going to play great football. They're going to have some great scheme runs, and they're going to play defense.
Well coached?
Very, very well coached.
And how much do you think they have lost going from Carson Wentz to Nick Foles?
A lot, but I mean, Nick's got experience.
He does.
But what the Vikings got going on their side is, I think this is Nick's fourth or fifth game, and the Vikings got it rolling. And I think that little bit of that miracle that happened last week is just an extra boost of momentum, and I'm looking forward to seeing Minnesota in Minnesota.
So you're picking Minnesota to win this game.
That's my pick.
Okay. So give us a breakdown on Eagles receiving core. How do you rank them? How difficult were they on you?
It's not really their receiving core. I mean, it's just they play great team ball. But Alshon is, he got some great hands. He's a big body. He gets open.
Big body.
Torrey Smith, he just continues to make plays, and I think they figure out ways to get Nelson the ball.
Yeah.
And then
Ertz. Did he scare you guys at all, Nelson? Because he can run a little bit.
No.
No?
But Ertz is a
Simple
mismatch.
as that?
Ertz a problem.
Ertz is a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then why are you picking Minnesota to go in there? Because I think they're dramatically underrated at home, the Eagles are. You've played in that stadium. You didn't do it this time, but
I don't think Philly should have won last weekend. But they did, and they found a way to do it. But I just think, Minnesota and Zimmer's defense, and then I think Case is comfortable. He's been playing with those guys. And I think Stephon Diggs is tremendously underrated, and as well as Thielen. And I think, they got the two backs, Latavius Murray and McKinnon.
Yep.
And I like them. I like Rudolph. I think he's a complete tight end.
So if Tom Brady gets by Saxonville, then are you going to pick Minnesota at home to beat Tom Brady? No. After all, you just made that big case?
No.
Really?
I think when you get to the Super Bowl, anything goes.
Oh, okay. Tom Brady goes?
I think anything goes when you get to the Super Bowl.
Well, you're
I mean, I'm not ready to pick that right now, but I think I like Minnesota this week, and I wouldn't be surprised, if the Eagles won. But I think eventually it's going to come down to the two guys who are going to touch the ball every single time they're on offense, the quarterbacks.
Well, Everson Griffin said that they want to make Nick Foles beat them throwing the football. I feel comfortable in saying Jim Schwartz wants to have the same thing happen with Case Keenum beating them throw the football. Fletcher Cox has been saying that the blatant disrespect of being underdogs for the second time at home.
Yep.
But I want to share something with Fletcher. Let me tell you what's more disrespectful. Having 75 of your closest friends, people that you know, celebrating at your house, and you're in a room and you can't go out and it's being filmed. Because if you don't take care of business at home, that's what Minnesota's going to do. They're going to get that championship trophy at the link. They're going to be celebrating. You're going to be in the building.
That's true.
But you're not going to be a part of it. So that's what's disrespectful. Take it from a guy that's done it twice. Did it in Pittsburgh, did it in Oakland.
You did.
That's what's disrespectful. So don't worry about the odds makers. Don't worry about what's being said. Go handle business and get ready to take that trip. But it's not going to be easy because the Vikings realize how close they are. They looking at, like, Nick Foles can't beat us. Philadelphia's looking at, Case Keenum can't beat us.
Case done beat everybody this year, though. Everybody.
I don't believe that Case has faced the defense like what he's going to face on Sunday. I don't.
I mean, I think Case is a different player when he plays with a lead. And I think that if they go up there and get any type of lead.
Oh yeah. You got to, Oh yeah. Because we saw once the Saints got that thing close, they could see them tail lights and they pulled up to his bumper.
Yeah.
We saw what he did.
Yeah.
But remember, as good as Xavier Rhodes is, Drew Brees threw for 200 yards in the second half of that game. I mean, he would just at will.
I guess it's fortunate that Drew Brees won't be wearing one of them green jerseys or one of them green helmets with an eagle on the side of it.
Well, the thing what I try and tell Skip, a team that has a lead, they're just saying their motto is nothing cheap, nothing deep. So you're going to have a bunch of yards. They're going to give up the short underneath stuff. They're not going to give you the one-play touchdown bombs.
How about that 4th and 10 Drew Brees converted? At the end, it's like do or die.
Well, they playing 22-man.
Okay.
Our breaking route against 22-man is always money. That's can't tell him.
Absolutely.
You got no chance on that because you're playing inside.
4th and 10?
Yeah, you playing in.
You got a chance?
No, you don't. Not on 22-man because
Then
you're
you
playing
don't
inside
deserve to
leverage.
win.
Skip.
Well, seriously.
They didn't know they were going to be running the outbreaking route on 22-man. You're playing that coverage because you don't believe the quarterback's going to run. You would never play that coverage on Cam Newton on 4th and 10 because he's going to hit his head on the goalpost.
It was a good clutch throw, though.
Yeah, that's Drew Brees. I expect him to make the throw.
I've never seen Drew play a better half than that half against that defense and that
Did you see him in the
Thunderdome.
Super Bowl against the Colts? He was 30 or 38 for the entire game.
Oh, please.
The Colts were in the Super Bowl.
This is up at Minnesota. You know how loud that's the loudest building in pro football.
I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
I think none of that matters, though.
No.
Because come Sunday,
Okay.
they don't care about the disrespect. Minnesota don't care about the line. The Eagles ain't going to care about the line when the game gets started. The best team going to win.
Okay. What can the Eagles do just about as well as anybody this side of Jacksonville?
Rush the
Those
quarterback.
those three backs can run that
they
ball.
run the football.
They can run it. They ran it hard on you guys.
Minnesota ain't going to let you line up and run the football.
I don't
against
know.
them, so
They're not
if that's the
great
plan,
against
then
the
they
run.
might as well just go ahead and start dusting off that trophy.
Really? LeGarrette Blount? Really?
If the plan is just to run the football against
Yeah.
Minnesota,
I'll bet that's the number one plan.
Well, the thing is, Skip, is that, you come out because they're a run-based team. They don't want to put all that pressure on Nick Foles. They don't want him throwing the ball 40 times. And what happened, the Falcons could never get any separation. It was always a 3 or a 1-point ball game, so they can just run just enough to keep you honest. But if they fall behind by 10, they fall behind by 14, that running game's going out the window.
Yeah, but every time I even saw the little kid Clement, it's like every time he touched the ball, good stuff happens.
So, Skip, is it fair to say that the Eagles' defense is much better than the Falcons' defense?
No, it's not much better,
Yeah, I think it's.
but it's much better.
Yeah, that front four for real.
I thought the Falcons' defense the last 6 or 7 games played really well.
Schematically, you know what the Falcons are going to do. They are cover 3, robber, lurk coverage, pick the cross right across. But they don't have that front four like the Eagles. Fletcher Cox and Graham and Ingram and Jernigan, those guys are for real.
Did you see what Adrian Claiborne did to Dak Prescott?
You see,
I'm serious.
Skip,
Did you see it?
Skip, he had 6 sacks in one game, and he had 9.5 for the season.
Are you going to defend Chaz Green? He's a good friend of yours, right?
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, there we go.
That ain't well, look, Chaz was out there, but schematically, when a guy, you see a guy, you know early on, like you're watching a corner. You know when that other guy's going to be struggling today. And you better go tell that defense coordinator, hey, we better roll some coverage. We need to give such and such a hand. Well, you see, okay, 1, 2, 3. At what point, 4?
How we get back to this?
Skip?
No, I just think you were disrespecting the Philadelphia Eagles.
I don't like the Eagles.
They used to
Nothing
be in your
about it.
So he's hoping.
They used to be in your division because you're no longer a Dallas Cowboy, obviously.
No, you said that. I'm still
No,
under
you said
contract.
that. That's you indicated that.
I indicated that it's possible that it's changed, that it could be possible, that there can be change, and that I'm preparing myself for that mentally.
Okay, that's fine.
I didn't say they used to be in my
You know what?
division.
I don't like the Eagles either. I grew up a Cowboy fan. In fact, I hate the Eagles. But I respect this football team, and it's way better than the odds makers.
What I don't respect is people complaining about being underdogs and being underestimated. To me, that just shows me that the focus is off. If you worried about being respected, that what other people think about you.
You don't think that can motivate a team that needs some kind of motivation?
If the Super Bowl ain't motivating you, ain't nothing gonna motivate you.
I thought
you didn't like Washington.
No, I hate Philadelphia. I told you, I don't throw that word around lightly. I just don't like anything about them. I don't like the way they carry themselves. I don't like their fans. I always hated going there.
How do we mean that how they carry themselves? They don't care.
They're arrogant front runners.
The Cowboys? No, wait a minute.
The Eagles are. You know this, and I know this.
Really?
I would agree with him on the fact that I do think that the Eagles are front runners. I think that when things are going great, they're going great. When things is going bad, it's the sky falling. But my hate for them is not, like, don't get that confused with I think that Minnesota's going to win this game. I think that they're destined. I think that they're the better football team.
Maybe. Well.
Can you believe somebody talk about somebody's fans?
I know you're not talking.
The Cowboys.
You are the biggest front runner I have ever met in my entire life. Who's your team this weekend?
Because I'm always in the front. That's why I'm running.
Okay. Okay.
I remember when I used to go to Philadelphia to cover the Cowboy games, they'd always tell me the Cowboy tour groups were told that's the one stadium you can wear no Cowboy paraphernalia into the stadium because you won't get out alive.
Right, you get busted
well,
up.
Philly fans for real. And they're all going to have dog masks on because they've totally bought into the NFL.
They underdogs. Get with them. Eagles, flock,
Oh, here we go.
Flock, Eagles, flock.
You know what I'm talking about? No mercy. The Cavs have lost 4 straight heading into tonight's game against the Magic. LeBron has clearly been frustrated by his team's play, and yesterday he said, "This has been the most challenging season ever." Let's take a listen.
It's been very challenging, just from the simple fact of how many guys has been in and out. This is a difficult, year for our team. It seems like I say that every year, but this one has been even more challenging. With everybody that's been out and coming back in and the rotations and things of that nature has been very challenging on our team. But we have to figure it out. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, we have a game every other day or every 2 days, just like everybody else in the NBA. We have to go out and play.
We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Welcome, Chris. Good morning.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Do you like that LeBron said this?
Well, first of all, I think there's a question as to what he said. Like, I don't think he said this is his toughest season ever. I think he said this is his toughest season since he returned to Cleveland. Because the context was, I seem to say that every year. He hasn't said that, of course, for all 15 years of his career.
Right.
But he said it every year since he's been in Cleveland. I mean, the first year in Miami had to be the worst.
Yes.
The villain. They were 1-3 against Boston, 0-3 against Chicago. Remember, Eric Spoelstra said there was crying in the locker room after they lost to Chicago in March. So that was clearly the toughest year. And
then the meltdown in Dallas.
Yeah, but that was in the finals. But I'm saying regular season.
Yep.
So that had to be the toughest year. What he said, I thought was right on the money, and I have no problem with it. We are seeing in Oklahoma City. We saw it when LeBron and Wade first teamed up in Miami. How tough it is for ball-dominant players who are used to, carrying teams, how tough it is for them to come together.
Yes.
So imagine doing that when one of those guys, Derrick Rose, has only played 7 games. Another, Isaiah Thomas, has only played 5. And you can throw in Tristan Thompson being hurt too. I thought his explanation was right on the money. He talked about rotations because it's not just offense.
Right.
It's the defensive rotations. When you're a team that old, that slow, and you have to gear up and play great defense to match up with Golden State, it can be frustrating to it seems like every week or two they have a different lineup.
Yep.
So I think what he said was right on the money, and I have no problem with it.
Shocking.
Clearly.
I mean, but now I will criticize LeBron I'm just saying.
And Skip,
You really
criticize him.
Hey, every other day you're criticizing him on this show.
Stop hating, Skip. Look, I agree. Because think about it. They had a nice rotation. When Tristan comes back, now Tristan's the first guy off the bench. And I said, Ty, Lou, why would you upset the apple cart with Green and Korver and Wade coming off? Keep that going. But somehow he wanted to get Tristan in, and then Tristan is the first guy coming off the bench, and then, Calderon was starting, and then Calderon is back on the bench because Isaiah's in the lineup. And it's hard. And the thing is that because they're so old, they can't practice like these young teams and get it. So basically you got to get it through film study and chalkboard talk. That's hard, Skip, and some guys can't get it like that. I wish we could have did it like that.
You would have preferred that.
Dan Reeves wasn't playing that back, Skip. Back then, they really, in the early 90s, they were really hitting. There wasn't no walkthroughs. So I don't have a problem with what he's saying, Skip. I just think the thing is that he realized that with the rotations the way they've been, the starting lineups, because think about it, Jay Crowder's new. I said this earlier. They really only got 3 starters. Everybody else, with the exception of Isaiah, Kevin Love, and LeBron, are role players. Jay Crowder should be a role player.
Yeah, but 3 stars is.
No. I said 3 starters. No, they got a superstar and they got what the Warriors got.
Well, the Warriors are unique. I mean,
hating, Skip.
I'm not hating.
You are.
I'm just speaking the truth. If you are the best player on the planet, right?
Yeah.
That's what I hear every day,
right?
right?
Player,
Yes,
singular.
yes,
Say
yes,
singular.
yes.
Singular,
Okay.
best player on the planet, and you are clearly the leader of the current Cleveland Cavaliers. You just don't need to speak negativity. It doesn't serve any purpose. All it does is plant seeds for excuses to give you a pass just in case it goes completely south because they've lost 8 out of 10. Just keep it to yourself. Be positive publicly because your teammates are going to hear this, watch this, read this. And it does them no good if your leader is sort of resigned to the fact, boy, it just hasn't been meant to be this year. Well, it's not like they've been decimated by injuries. They have tied for 7th, lost the most games to injury, tied for 7th. So they're not number 1 on that list or number 2. And I give you, Isaiah has missed 38 games, and Derrick Rose, for what it's worth, has missed 36. But I think he's going to try to play tonight, Derrick Rose.
And that's going to be, don't you think that's going to be more frustrating?
Yeah.
Like with Wade, Isaiah, Rose?
It also could help. It could help. If you figure it out on the fly, it could help. Because what I saw in the flashes I saw from Derrick Rose, I saw a little bit of ability left.
You know you validate.
Has he looked better? I think this might be a question going forward. Did he look better than Isaiah's looked?
Yes. To my eye so far, it's probably unfair to Isaiah because he's still got the hit.
And you validating Braun's argument. The lineup.
Okay.
Because now we got to get D. Rose back re-ingratiated.
Yes.
Okay, why would you acknowledge that publicly? Because I loved what Ty Lue said, who was glass half full yesterday, and he said, where's my Ty Lue? I know how good we can be. We're going to be fine. The last couple of games have been very positive, even though we lost. They should have closed the deal. LeBron should have closed the deal at Indiana. They led that game by 22 in the second quarter, and Indiana had beaten them twice already. Now they've beaten them 3 times. And LeBron had the ball at the end. He stepped on the end line. Okay, you should have won that game. You know it, and I know it. And then you brought this point up on Tuesday. They're only down 4.
Yeah.
7:40 left in the fourth quarter to the juggernaut that is Golden State. Well, okay, it's your house. Close it. I don't know. Figure it out. And in the next stretch of about 4 minutes, it was 14-4 Golden State, and Steph didn't score a single basket, and Klay didn't score a single basket, and Kevin Durant didn't score a single basket. So it wasn't like the star power got you. The bench got you. And again, LeBron is playing way too many minutes, and he is in his 15th year, and I kept telling you through the streak in which they won 18 of 19 games this year. They've done that. That's pretty great, right? 18 of 19. So during that stretch.
During this stretch, you were saying
they weren't
beating anybody.
No, but I'm saying you're playing. LeBron you're saying, Orlando cut it to 12 or whatever. It's just Orlando. You can't play to the buzzer against Orlando.
But that's how they got the win. You keep saying it's just Orlando, but if it was just Indiana.
Okay, so what did I tell you earlier? You look at these 10 games, and in the second halves of these last 10 games, LeBron has been awful because he's running out of gas. He's playing way too many minutes. He's minus 61 over those last 10 games, and they've lost 8 of them in the second half. That's the 6th worst plus minus in the whole league over the last 10 games. I know it's a small sample size, but you just... At Indiana, they lost the second half 53-37. They lost to Golden State 61-44. LeBron's better than that, but he can't keep playing the most minutes in the NBA and have enough gas left in the tank in these second halves.
I don't know that he'll let his minutes go down.
He has cut back some. Now he's only tied for 8th. For a long time, he was leading the league.
How many minutes?
That's because they gotten blown out. Your minutes are gonna come down when you're not playing the fourth quarter. You're not playing the third. You're not playing the second half of the third quarter. You get. Think about it. They got blown out by Minnesota. They got blown out. Somebody else blew them out the night before because they got beat by Toronto.
Yeah.
So when you don't play the fourth quarter, you don't play the fourth quarter. You don't play late in the third quarter. That's what's gonna happen to you, man. But Skip, when you play 10 ball games, you mentioned 10. They're 2-8. So clearly,
you're gonna have a plus minus.
Exactly.
But Skip, if
Not minus
LeBron,
61.
if
Go
LeBron
ahead.
had come out yesterday and said essentially what Ty Lue said, look, I like where we are. We've been playing a lot better. I think people would be killing him for that. Some people might be saying, "What is this? The best player in the world wants a moral victories?" They lost. Like, I don't. It's.
No, what if he got angry? What if he said, "You guys go ahead and doubt us. Just doubt us because we're
That's not
coming."
him. That's not him. Bron, be you. You did exactly right. You know what you and I talked about.
If it wasn't for that team in Golden State, maybe you would have said that.
Bron, no.
I tell you,
in the
look,
Eastern Conference, you know, like
I get some. Like I was telling Shannon in the break, I don't like whoever these players were that came out and said, you know, we really don't think we can. You know, this is different. It's not fixable. I don't like that. When you got the best player in the world, you got another perennial all-star in Kevin Love, you got a nice little player in Isaiah Thomas, and you got good role players. Like, that shouldn't be
the best player on the planet?
I don't know, but it's possible for sure.
I love what Ty Lue said. He said, I looked down our roster and I couldn't find source on there. There's not one source, right?
But
don't worry about it. We're going to make a power move.
Yeah.
We got something
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Unless they give up that pick.
We don't give it up,
Can't do
Chris.
it.
Yes, we
Well,
can.
then LeBron needs to give it up and say,
I
I'm
tell you,
here.
this is what we do.
I would not give it up for DeAndre Jordan.
This is what we know.
I wouldn't either. I agree.
He's not getting you past Golden State.
This is what we know. LeBron is watching you. Because if you want to make sure that he goes, don't do anything by the trade deadline.
That's a good point. But they're going to have trouble keeping him either way, I think, unless they win.
Fool them once, shame on them. Like what happened the first time? He left him high and dry. Do you want him? What if they use the pick to get him help and it doesn't work out and he leaves them anyway?
It's going to work out. This is what I know. If I didn't give it to
who's the guy you want? Paul George. That's the only. Who you want?
I want DeAndre and I want Lou Williams.
I don't think you're getting Lou.
You gonna trust her after she left you once?
No. But I know if I don't go to get this old big old rock, she gonna leave for sure. So I'm gonna go to get a big old rock.
Shannon wants.
You say you could buy love, Joy. I don't know about buy it, but you can rent it for about 3 or 4 years.
You want Anthony Davis and Boogie
Oh,
Cousins.
Anthony!
Where's the Anthony Davis? Like, come on.
Whoa. Hold on. Okay, tell you what we'll do.
Yeah.
This is what we'll do.
Yeah.
We'll give you Kevin Love, the 2 picks, I'll pick, the Brooklyn pick, and we'll throw in the make it nice for you. We'll throw who you want?
Throw Shump in.
No, we give you JR.
You give it JR?
Yeah.
Oh.
They would give you Cousins probably for that. I don't think they give you Anthony.
No way.
If that happened, this is a dream world. But if that happened, I think LeBron would stay.
Yeah.
Why not?
Go get AD.
But you ain't. It ain't.
AD.
No mercy. Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.